Now you count slowly to 200. And whether I'm at the surface or not, you gun it out of here, okay? Because it means I'm in trouble. Okay, let's get a count together. 1, 2, come on, honey. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll be back.
7, 8.
Afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. My name is Kevin, and this is Retro Renaissance. William Katt is known by most 80s kids as the star from the TV show The Greatest American Hero and the movie Carrie. He continues acting and attending various events with fans, so today, let's remember actor, voice actor, musician, and more, William Katt. William Katt, not to be confused with Katt Williams, was born on February 16, 1951 in Los Angeles, California. He grew up in the San Fernando Valley alongside with his siblings Jody and Juanita. He attended the Army and Navy Academy in Carlsbad, California, and later graduated from Orange Coast College. In 1979, William married Deborah Kahane. They had 2 sons, Clayton and Emerson, before parting ways in 1992. A year later, the actor married Danielle Hirsch. He has a daughter named Dakota with her, along with a stepson, Andrew. William is from an acting family. His mother, Barbara Hale, played Della Street for 10 years on the Perry Mason series.
This is all I could find, Chief.
If it isn't in those, Della, we better drop it.
And his father, Bill Williams, who has a striking resemblance to William Katt, and that also happens to be his real name, William Katt, was a star of the 1940s.
Mason, you're a remarkable man.
Thank you.
You're a remarkably stupid man.
Don't talk to me that way.
Yes, stupid. 1 minute you're almost human. Almost. The next minute you're right back where you started from. Supercilious, snotty, sarcastic.
Graham,
You made a speech about being a businessman. You either make a buck or lose a buck. That's all that counts, you said. Bull. In business, you deal with people. If you can't resist needling them, constantly irritating them, they won't work. They can't work. And Mason, you're a genius at irritating people.
When discussing his parents, William says, "Mom was a Bobby Soxer, Dad was in B-Westerns, and they were the ones who told me to think in terms of the long run, not just about next month, and try to age gracefully." And William has also co-starred with his mother in Big Wednesday, and also had a run in the Perry Mason movies with Mom.
You think she'll be all right?
Paul, there are no such things as ghosts. I guarantee it.
Oh, I don't know, Della.
Oh, Perry.
Why do you say that? When I passed the Warrenfield picture this morning, I heard something.
You're kidding.
No. I stopped. I stared. I swear I heard his voice.
Well, what did he say?
He said, "Tell Paul Drake to keep the hell away from my granddaughter."
Perry.
William Katt began his acting career in summer stock theater and subsequently landed roles in movies and television. William prefers the stage, and he says, "I started in theater, so it's probably my favorite. I've worked in several theater groups over the years. I even got to work with Bob Fosse when we did Pippin for home entertainment."
My corner of the sky.
In 1975, William Katt auditioned for the part of Luke Skywalker in 1977 science fiction blockbuster Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, alongside Kurt Russell.
Make you nervous. Okay, action.
It checks out again. There's no mistake.
You can't find Organa Major?
Well, I found it. It's just not there.
Organa Major's been destroyed.
What's left of it is contaminated. That's it there. Look at those radiation readouts. It's impossible. I've never seen anything like it.
Although he was seriously considered for the role, the part went to Mark Hamill. Instead, William starred in the movie First Love, playing a college student who experiences his first romantic relationship. After that, sure, you would see William in various roles in one-off episodes of MASH, Gunsmoke, Kojak, and others. However, his first major role was in Carrie.
But the casting director had us all come in and meet with her, and then she made her selections, and we kind of moved up the food chain, and eventually I ended up doing an audition for George Lucas and Brian De Palma, who were casting simultaneously for their film Star Wars and Carrie. I don't know, I was just kind of me, and when I was approaching the role, when we were getting ready to do the film, I looked at all the guys that I knew in high school and how they conducted themselves, the football stars and whatnot. I was not that. I mean, I was hanging out in the music rooms and surfing, and I was not an athlete in high school whatsoever. But there was a certain swagger and self-confidence about these characters, these guys. And I just tried to emulate that and bring that to bear in the film, and Brian liked it, you know.
And the actor was just beginning his career when he starred in this Brian De Palma adaptation of the Stephen King novel. He plays the high school jock with empathy, unlike the rest of the high school class. When we first see Tommy Ross in Carrie, he's sitting in English class, and the teacher is reading his poem aloud. Impressed that the star of the football and baseball team is also such a great writer, Tommy smiles with his curly blonde hair and bright eyes, accentuating his laid-back Southern California vibe. He's the king of the high school at Bates High School, and he's dating the popular girl Sue Snell, played by Amy Irving, and he's destined to be the prom king. But fate will intervene once Sue asks him for a strange favor, as she wants him to take Carrie to the prom, who plays the weird, awkward girl which Sue's clique likes to mock and bully. Sue means it as a kindness. She feels bad about how Carrie is treated, and good-natured Tommy obliges, but no one imagined that the jock and the outcast would fall in love. And certainly no one anticipated what Carrie would do at the prom after Sue's cruel friends pull a prank on her. In the end, there's pig bloods, chaos, scares, as Carrie seeks her revenge on the bullies. And they made a remake because of course they did, and it sucked, so there's that. 2 years later, he starred as a young surfer named Barlow in Big Wednesday, which was a dramatic movie that also featured Gary Busey and Jan Michael Vincent. The actor was cast in the western film Butch and Sundance the early days around this period, and after some other work would come a TV show that I would love. Interestingly, William Katt would say this: "I'd like to spend as much time on stage as possible. I don't do regular TV series because I don't want to be overexposed. I try to cover myself to have another movie under the way before the last one comes out. I've been able to just scrape by, holding out for good parts instead of taking anything. I'm thinking about a career that should mean something 30 years from now, but I'm not too upset about a picture that flops. The important thing is, I also do pictures that don't flop. Even Bogart was in a lot of crap that everyone's forgotten about by now." However, things change, and on March 18th, 1981, I would turn on Channel 42, which was our ABC affiliate out of the 3 channels we had, adjust my antenna on my 13-inch black and white TV, and would be presented with this.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out before I pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
And this was The Greatest American Hero. Although only airing for 2 years, this show is still often referred to and has a cult following. It was created by famed producer Stephen J. Cannell, and it premiered as a 2-hour pilot movie and ran until February 2nd, 1983. William Katt plays a high school teacher named Ralph Hinkley, and co-stars Robert Culp as an FBI agent, Bill Maxwell.
And he was so sweet, and I think his... I don't know if it was his daughter or his granddaughter. Someone was taking classes at UCB, so he came to a show, and then and so I actually did get to meet him once, but just seemed like such a warm, lovely man.
I guess there was that aspect to him.
Maybe age settled him down.
No. Truth be told, I mean, it's famous now. Bob and I were not the best of friends when we started our show together.
I did not know this.
And there was some real tension there on the set but I think it lended itself to good chemistry because in the show we hated each other.
Well, that's a good attitude to have about it.
And a little fact is that they had to change the name of Ralph from Hinkley to Hanley for the latter part of the first season, immediately after President Ronald Reagan and 3 others were shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. on March 30th, 1981. However, the character was reverted back to Hinckley after a few months had passed, and the show's premise would center around Ralph being gifted a supersuit and its associated superhuman abilities by a group of aliens. Ralph does not know how to use the suit and actually hates wearing it. He immediately loses it and the instruction booklet, and thus has to learn how to use its powers by trial and error, which was a fun twist on the show.
Jump with your hands out in front of you.
Oh, see, I've never done this before. It's my first, or what do you call it? Flight.
My dad is calling the police.
Terrific. 3 steps, huh?
You jump hard, like off a diving board. You're not very good at this.
Tell me about it, kid.
And his dislike of the suit in the show is not too far from the truth. It was once said that he disliked his Greatest American Hero outfit so much due to its look and discomfort that TV Guide had to use an illustration of him rather than a photo for the cover because he did not want to put it on.
How does it feel to get into that costume and do that?
It's a horrendous experience. One that I wouldn't wish on my best friend. But
then why do it? Why do it?
Well, it's part of the character. I mean, the character and I share that a very common feeling about that suit. I mean, it's a terribly embarrassing situation to have to put it on. And in reality, if I had to walk down Broadway in that suit, I'd feel just terribly silly.
And we have to talk about how the show ended. It was not great. During 1986, the original cast reunited for a pilot movie for a new NBC series to be named The Greatest American Heroine, which did not end up resulting in a new series, and the pilot was never broadcast on NBC. Ultimately, the pilot was re-edited as an episode of the original series, complete with the original opening credits and theme song, and it was added to syndication with the rest of the episodes. After the beginning credits, the episode title card superimposed over a nightmare view of Los Angeles skyline reading The Greatest American Hero, before appending the letters I and E, individually to the sound of the NBC chimes. The chimes were a nod to NBC and its president Brandon Tartikoff, who had expressed interest in reviving the series. In this new pilot/last episode, it would take place several years after the final episode. Ralph's secret identity was finally revealed to the public, resulting in his becoming a celebrity. This angers the aliens who gave him the suit, and they charge him with finding a new hero to wear the costume and use its superpowers for fighting evil. Once the transfer is made, they explain all memory of Ralph's exploits will be purged from the world's memory and remembered only by Ralph, Pam, and Bill. So everyone he saved and all the work he did was just forgotten about. That's a bummer ending. Bill begins their search by researching people with desired hero qualities, but Ralph finds a young woman named Holly Hathaway, played by Mary Ellen Stewart, an elementary school teacher who spends her off hours looking for lost kittens, raising environmental awareness, and serving as a foster mother. Bill, Pam, and Ralph meet in the desert where Ralph tells Bill about Holly. Bill reacts visibly to his new partner being a skirt before Holly arrives flying in wearing a new version of the suit made for her, and she pledges to help Bill. The original trio say their final farewells, and even the stoic Maxwell reveals his true emotions as they say goodbye to Ralph. Holly reacts emotionally to the fond farewells, but breaks the somber mood as she accidentally pulls off the door of Bill's sedan. And the rest of the episode would deal with Holly learning how to use the suit with Bill Maxwell's guidance, and the pair trying to develop a working relationship, and it ends with Bill overhearing poignant conversation between Holly and her foster daughter in which Holly refers to Bill as a good person. Bill is then shown speaking into a recorder which he uses as a diary to suggest that maybe Holly is the right person to wear the suit after all. I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but come on. You're telling me everything we just did is just forgotten about and Ralph just quits? I don't like that. Now, after Greatest American Hero, he would star in one of my favorite movies. The movie was called House.
You're welcome.
God told me you were kind.
You talk to God?
God's presence often descends on Boyd to help him guide others.
This has been going on long?
Since he was 10.
Okay, so I wasn't talking about the Doctor TV show House, however, he did appear in an episode of House in 2006, which is where that clip is from. I mean, this house. Which had one of the best movie posters I think I've seen. It was about a Vietnam vet and returns to his boyhood home to write, and well, it's haunted. It's a setup for a classic 80s horror movie, however, it was a work of comedy, yet played seriously and not over the top like Scary Movie. And William Katt played it so sincere, and I found myself laughing more than being frightened. Although it would get mixed reviews, with one by Alex Stewart of White Dwarf that said, "It's squandered on yet another tired old haunted house story," which I think he missed the point entirely. How could this be confused with a tired old haunted house story? The movie shows us that his aunt has passed away, and rather than selling the house after his aunt's funeral, Roger decides to live in her house. After moving in, Roger begins to have powerful graphic nightmares, including thoughts about his comrade Big Ben, played by Richard Mole, who was also Bull from Night Court. In this movie, Richard Mole played Big Ben, who died in Vietnam. In addition, strange phenomena springs forth from the house, haunting him in his waking hours. Another highlight during his exploits in the house is his neighbor. As he tries communicating his fears to his next door neighbor Harold, ends up just thinking he is crazy.
Hey Raj, what you doing?
Me? Nothing. I'm just, I'm working on my book, you know. Good to see you. I need to get back inside and,
Solitude.
Solitude, yes, right. I'll see you later, though. Okay?
They would make House 2 and 3 without William, instead opting for this duo. And they were fine, and William would return for House 4. William would continue to work, most recently in the movie Pursuit in 2022, and with guest starring runs in Supergirl, and Paranormal Movie, and House of Pain. Maybe William should just star in anything with House in the title. House, House 4, House the TV show, and House of Pain. And one of the best parts about William Katt, in my opinion, is that he adores his fans. He is quoted in saying, "One of my favorite things is visiting with the fans. I do my very best to be present and listen to them. I love to talk and share stories with them. Seems people don't just come for an autograph, they want to tell you what your project meant to their lives, and that's very interesting to me. When I play a good guy, I try to explore them and figure out what shapes them and makes them interesting. When I play a bad guy, I try to explore everything that makes them good. No one ever really thinks they're the bad guy." And that wraps up our little video for William Katt. I want to thank you so much for watching, and would appreciate you doing all those clickety things that would help out the video and my channel. Have any questions or comments? Go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and click on that link in the description and let us know. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Subscribe to Retro Renaissance channel.
I'm off.